Okay, so here I am. I'm looking at the state of the freezer and the fridge, and it didn't look like the freezer needed that much done, but I'm looking at the fridge here, and I did what I could do. It looks like it's not that many stains, so I don't have to use anything super abrasive. So I'm just showing a couple of things that I did use. So here I'm taking some stuff out. Just a quick backstory before I continue the rest of the video. This is just somewhere I'm staying temporarily. So this is not my personal fridge, but I did kind of clean it like, it was. So there was a couple of old items in there that I did throw away. And the person that owns this fridge said they would go shopping soon. So I was like, oh, perfect timing to be nice and try to actually do this instead of just throwing some old stuff out. I haven't been staying here for long. I just noticed there were some things I could do since I'm unemployed too. So with that being said, I just been looking around in the space that I kind of use on a day-to-day basis, and then I sort of just kind of asked myself, why not? I wasn't trying to do a super deep, extreme flip of a clean, but I did notice this is not impossible to do, so I just figured if it wasn't perfect in the end, it was gonna be better than how it was. So here I'm just kind of spraying the fridge with the bleachy multi-purpose cleaner because I got all the stuff out and I was letting that marinate before I moved on to the fun part, which is cleaning the little shelves in the drawers that are in the fridge. And I like that you can take these out and literally clean them like I'm doing right here. This part took way longer than it seems, but I tried to cut it down so this video is not an hour long like the last 10 videos I've made. Obviously, it was a lot easier because I wasn't talking, which I kind of love to do when I'm comfortable. So I didn't do too much with this for real. I didn't want to waste dish soap or whatever it was like. But this one was the problematic one because it was literally stuck to the fridge. So I just kind of used oil before I took it off, and then I really just used multi-purpose cleaner like on most of this. And this scrubby brush I found, I was using that before I would use the sponge because I wanted to exfoliate the whole crud and then smooth it off afterwards and rinse everything and let it dry. That's what I'm doing here. So for these bigger pieces, like the shelves with the glass attached to it, to where you can kind of remove the glass sometimes and clean that separately. I did kind of do that with one of the bigger pieces. You're gonna probably see me do that in a little bit. This one I didn't have to do that because it wasn't, troublesome or anything. But I did end up doing that, and I think I paced myself pretty well with this because I've done this before when I was facing eviction, and I had to clean out the old fridge that we had, or the old food out of the fridge that we had before, and I remember it had magnets in it because our power went out before we got evicted. So a lot of the stuff that was in there was going bad, and nobody wanted to open the fridge or clean it or anything. They just wanted to really honestly throw it out the window. And I was the only one that was like, no, this is repairable, or what is it, reparable, this is fine. So I'm just sitting here looking now at how satisfying it was to get all that stuff off. But yeah, I wasn't trying to make it perfect. Like, I was just trying to use some bleach and some brush. And then right here is where you can see me pop off the glass, and I was actually scared because it was a little harder than I anticipated, but it wasn't like horrible. I was worried because it kind of ricocheted back a little bit. It wasn't sharp or anything. This was the biggest piece at the bottom, which is why I really did separate the glass from the shelf. And also you do kind of want to do that if you can, because you can get the corners that are kind of tucked under the shelf that lines the glass, if that makes sense. So if you really are doing a clean like this, you would want to do that at least once a week. Oh yeah, realistically, this part took 30 minutes, or I should say in real time, because I didn't want to break the glass or the pieces or like make too much noise per se. So fast forward to afterwards, letting, the cleaning stuff marinate at the bottom of the fridge. I came back with this brush, and Lord, this one little corner, I really was sweating here. You guys see how I let it marinate, and that was actually good because it got most of the real gunk. And we're just sitting here scrubbing. And obviously I'm chopping it down, but this took about 30 minutes total to cleaning out the fridge like this. I'm using Himalayan sea salt, or like I guess rock salt, and then oven cleaner, and then some lime, because I know salt is exfoliating and it cleans well if there's like a rough spot on something, like stuck grease, like on a stove top, or like something like this down here. I didn't know what it was, but it was stuck a little bit. So I got it out with the salt, and then lime is astringent AF, and then oven cleaner just has properties to it that kind of ease that stuckness. Here I'm using the rag to finish getting the excess off. like this video, I should get a tattoo right here. So, okay, so here I'm showing everything's done. You know what I'm saying? There were some tiny parts that just had stains I couldn't get off, or just I was tired, to be honest. I did what I could, and then I got the shelves and the drawers clean. I showed the freezer a little bit. I didn't really do too much with that, but here is the result with what was already in the fridge, and I kind of put back some of the newer stuff because why not?